Today I'll be sharing the exact tips and advice that exploded my chest and helped me grow double D pecs. If only I had known these tips from day one, my results would have blown up a lot sooner. If you're serious about growing a massive chest, then I would watch this video right through until the end. This advice is what my private coaching clients pay me for. So in saying that, you can either go back to scrolling your life around TikTok or sit down with me for what I guarantee will be the best 8 minutes you invest into yourself this week. This first point is going to be controversial, but it's avoiding the conventional barbell bench press. I've personally not touched this exercise for over 7 years. The flat barbell chest press, and worst of all, the decline barbell chest press, are versions of these exercises that aren't worth doing. You're much better off with the Smith machine flat or incline chest press, the dumbbell flat and incline chest press exercises, and even the decline chest focus dip for reasons I'll be getting into. If you're already thinking to yourself, hey, this guy has no idea what he's talking about, I want you to think about this area between your chest and shoulders. If we aren't closing and opening this gap during an exercise, our chests won't be getting much of a workout at all. So if we come back to the conventional barbell versions of the bench press, because our elbows and wrists are fixed in place, this means that our chest isn't going through the full range of motion. When compared to a dumbbell chest press, since we have perfect control over your wrists, elbows, and range of motion, you can therefore completely close and open this gap that I spoke about earlier, making the dumbbell flat and incline dumbbell chest press the best exercises you can possibly do for your chest. For pure strength gains, which will translate to overall growth in your pecs, the Smith machine presses are also my second best recommendation to do in your workouts. The reason this is much better than a free weight barbell is because the Smith bar is locked in place. Not only is it much easier to set up and dismount, but we also use less secondary muscles, and our reps are therefore more consistent throughout the entire set. All of this means more chest engagement, which equals more gains. To summarize my point, it turns out the conventional barbell bench press isn't worth doing after all. To build those double D pecs, rotate between a dumbbell flat and incline chest press, as well as a Smith machine flat and incline press, throwing in a chest focused dip here and there. The next point is maximizing time under tension, or in other words, increasing the time that your chest is under load, especially on the way down of every single rep. If you're a beginner in the gym, understand that this should be your number one priority during each exercise. The weight you're lifting is the least important when growing your chest. Always remember this and never forget it. Before weight comes stability. So making sure you're maintaining full control of the weight and tempo. Then comes range of motion. So making sure you're putting your muscles through the entire lift. And the first most important tip when growing your chest is your posture. So setting up and using the correct form and technique from start to finish. Before adding weight to your exercises, all of these requirements must be ticked off. When it comes to stability, slowing down your reps for at least 3 seconds on the way down is what's going to grow your chest and strength gains very fast. You'll find that when you make this change in your exercises, you're going to reach failure in your sets much quicker using less weight, and your muscles will feel significantly more fatigued and sore, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, most people in the gym don't do this and think that lifting the heaviest weight is the be-all and end-all. When in reality, what's going to grow your chest the fastest is increasing the time under tension. This was a massive mistake I used to make in my first 2 years of training. All I ever did was set heavier and heavier weight goals after every workout, without having a care in the world for my form, range of motion, or control. To summarize my point, if you want to grow a massive chest, you must prioritize the eccentric tempo of your exercises and ditch the ego lifting mentality if you ever aim to have double D pecs. The next point is tracking your progress. This is one that no one speaks about, which I've thankfully been doing since day one. If I wasn't tracking anything, I'd be going into my workouts without a plan. And we all know, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Imagine having to remember your previous bests in every single exercise. And not just that, but your average time between each rep, your average weight, the drop sets, supersets, form and technique, or any improvement and corrections for the next time you perform each exercise. I personally have like 200 exercises that I rotate between throughout the year, so it's literally impossible to remember everything. The only logical way is to track your progress. Now, I'm not saying you have to be crazy like me and know everything in detail, but at the very least, you have to track your weight and the tempo across your exercises if you want to grow your chest and muscles at a faster rate. Some tips you can use to make this easier for yourself is using the Notes app on your phone to write everything down as you go, or if you're lazier, then just write everything down in an A5 notebook. However, if you're very serious about growing a massive chest, then you can create a basic Google Sheet and again use your phone to track your progress as you go. So ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that you take on board at least one thing that you learned from today's video and use it in your own training. If you liked the style of this video, then comment below and I'll make more coaching videos like this one. Finally, if you need one-on-one coaching, you can find the links to my website down in the description below. While you're there, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and slap the subscribe button for a yearly supply of gains. For more videos like this one, you can find them right here.